everybody. Snarl in Dallas continues now with our second half. Wally Cardell, Johnny Bianco, and birthday GM Tex Lynch. And if you missed the first half, well, American Powers, Patty Powers, and Liberty Bell Danielle are back, and they sure stuck it to the Disciples of Darkness, and it was a total wow.
And while that on its own is wild enough, let's turn our attention back to Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote with a situation of her own in her role as Joyce Grable Memorial Champion.
And in that situation, Danielle had a few moments during the intermission to discuss not just the return of American Powers, but Danielle's impending match for the JGM title against #1 contender Toni Storm.
So now, let's have a look at what went down during the intermission before our next matchup.
And damn if it wasn't cold.
That last match taught me a real important lesson. Yeah, I've been all about myself and individual achievement since Pats and I lost the Ladies World Tags to Power and Beauty, and while I did do all right for myself, getting the Japan 5-star women's title, and beating Luna Vachon in the casket match at Halloween Brawl, I learned that being on your own is fine, but friends and alliances are important too. The sectarians can just forget about having me on their side, because I've got my own people, my own sense of belonging to something bigger than myself. There are people in the back besides Pats that made that perfectly clear to me.
The crowd here in Dallas just about losing it, because here comes timeless Toni Storm.
She promised she'd show up tonight, and she was as good as her word. She's totally got her sights set on the Joyce Grable Memorial title, and man alive, this meeting with Liberty Bell Danielle before their match next week at Black Friday. It's likely to be colorful in the extreme, much like Toni Storm herself.
Storm earned that #1 contender spot earlier this month, surviving an encounter with 7 other opponents to make it here. But I don't think Danielle is used to an opponent that just wants pure competition. Instead of the usual, I hate you and want to rip your guts out.
You're pretty quiet, Tex, honestly. What do you think about all this?
I think it's been about as colorful a birthday as you could dream up. I can't wait to see what these two got to say for themselves. Oh man.
Danielle Heathcote, at last, I get a good look at you, face to face. I did promise Darling that I'd be here in Dallas tonight, and true to my word, here I am. I should tell you straight away, I've made quite the study of you, and you are, without question, an extraordinary talent. After all, no one becomes a ladies' Triple Crown champion if they aren't an extraordinary talent. Your past matches were a delight to watch.
Thanks, and everyone knows all about you. Lots of people think you're the greatest thing going these days, and you earned that over in AEW after leaving WWE. And I enjoyed watching you beat Mercedes Moné too. I think it's great we've got respect for each other.
Something that there's too little of in our business, darling. I'll have you know, I fought my ass off in that #1 contenders elimination. You might not know this about me, but I am something of a historian on ladies wrestling. And who, would you think, would be one of my favorite subjects?
Haven't got a clue, but I'm sure you're gonna tell me, aren't you?
What do you truly know about Joyce Grable? Were you aware? She was the long-term tag team partner of Wendy Richter. Yes, the self-same Wendy Richter that you've competed against. Or that Joyce held the NWA United States Women's Championship once, and the NWA Women's World Tag Team Championship 6 times. 3 with Wendy, and 3 with her other tag team partner Vicky Williams.
No, I guess I didn't.
Or that in 1978 at Super Bowl of Wrestling 2, she defeated 7 other wrestlers in an 8-woman battle royal, rather like the way I won the #1 contendership. Or that later that year, she defeated N. Casey to win the NWA United States Women's Championship. Everyone believed that no one could beat N. Casey, but Joyce Grable did it, against almost insurmountable odds.
Nope. That's definitely news to me.
Well then, without descending into personal attacks, I'll just say that I'm far more knowledgeable on the history of the woman whose name graces that Memorial Tournament championship. And I think that makes me eminently more qualified to wear that title than you are.
Okay, so you've got some knowledge, but what really matters, Toni? I fought through a seriously tough tournament to get the title, and since then, no one's been able to get it away from me. You know, knowledge is a great thing, but all you really need to know is, I'm not parting with the belt, not for you, or anyone else, regardless of how much you know about Joyce Grable. You're not going to be facing Joyce at Black Friday. You're going to be facing me, and this belt has some serious meaning for me, even if I didn't know all that stuff about her.
I admire your spunk, Danielle, and I think our match next week will define for everyone who's more deserving of being Joyce Grable Memorial Champion. And it's like I told you 2 weeks ago, I'm going to pop your cherry on the 28th, and I intend to leave you weak, exhausted, and lying in a pool of your own sweat, and trust me, love, it will be an intimate experience that you'll never forget for as long as you live. I'm quite good at that. You can ask anyone.
You've got a great sense of humor, Tony. And while I think that's great, there's not going to be any cherry popping at Black Friday, but there might just be a whole lot of timeless Tony Storm tapping out to me. And I think maybe we should just stop right there. I'm glad to see you're reliable when it comes to showing up. See you next week, and we'll just see who's more eminently qualified to hold that title.
Oh God, look at this here timeless Tony Storm displaying an almost encyclopedic knowledge of Joyce Grable. And I don't think Danielle was entirely too impressed, but next week at Black Friday is going to be as off the chain as it comes. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more RWL Sn Rl in just a minute.
It's been a wild night so far, with so much more ahead. And up next, non-title tag team action, with Farouk and Bradshaw, the APAs, squaring up with Snarl Tag Team champs, the Freak and Wild Thing, the Psychedelics.
The next non-title tag team contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 540 pounds, from Warner Robins, Georgia, Farouk, and from Sweetwater, Texas, Bradshaw, the APA.
Hella good tag matchup ahead, with both teams hot off successful wins in their previous matches.
The APA just off a win at Rage last Monday over the Midnight Express, and the Psychedelics helping the Stronghold win an 8-man tag team match about 3 weeks ago. Partnered with undisputed world tag champions, the Originals, and Wally. You gotta add to the mix, Freak and Wayne Tag, getting set to defend the Snarl tag belts next week at Black Friday. So as usual, Sylvia wants the boys in top form. So here we are with the Psychedelics against Farouk and Bradshaw.
Their opponents accompanied by Sylvia Strong, at a combined weight of 477 pounds, the Freak and Wild Thing Wayne Tag. They are the RWL Sn Rl Tag Team Champions, the Psychedelics.
A lot of folks wondering what happened to the Freak and the Wild Thing after that 8-man tag with the Originals. Well, they've been in training for a title defense coming up at Black Friday. And as you well know, Johnny, Sylvia Strong loves to keep her men and women in top form, which means the Freak and the Wild Thing are doing exactly that. I mean, look at them. They look to be in great shape, rocking those Sn Rl Tag Team Championship belts. Yes, sir, Sylvia Strong does love to run a tight ship, don't she, Kate?
Wise guy. I'd love to know what Danielle calls you when you're at home.
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. With the sides chosen up, it's going to be Ron Farouk Simmons and the Freak, starting us off in this non-title tag team matchup. As referee Charles Lucera sounds the bell, and here we go. Farouk catches a kick to the midsection from the Freak. A hard right spins Farouk around into a sleeper hold with just 7 seconds in. The Freak trying to wear Farouk down right away, but a jawjacker backs him off. Both men back to their feet now. The Freak locks him up again and escorts him towards the ropes. Let's see where this goes next. Oh, well, that's where it goes, over the top rope and out onto the floor for the Freak. And Farouk turns his attention to Wild Thing Wayne Take, but winds up getting hung up on the top rope as the Freak makes his way back in. Running drop kick misses Lamarck. Farouk quickly out of the way of that one. Hard right hand takes the Freak down to the canvas. And in comes Bradshaw on the tag. The Freak right there waiting for him, locks him up. And a hard right hand drops Bradshaw. And for the first time in the matchup, here comes Wild Thing Wayne Take. Fresh partners all the way around. Here we go. Oh, Bradshaw misses with the charge. Wild Thing flips him to the corner. Bradshaw counters with an elbow. Catches the kick to the midsection from Wild Thing, and a running kick right to the face that takes him right down. And here we go again. The Freak right back in. Sylvia Strong sitting there nice and quiet watching the boys work. They've got that title defense coming up at Black Friday. So this is kind of a tune-up match for them against the APA. Oh, look at this. Bradshaw quickly countered with a mere shifting of the weight by the Freak. The Freak gets him up into a power bomb. Flips him over and a running kick right to the face. The Freak tags in the Wild Thing. Bradshaw back up to a standing position here. Clothesline from Bradshaw takes the Wild Thing down. Wild Thing puts on the brakes and counters with a dragon screw. Bradshaw quickly back up. A right up. Ooh, look at this. Wild Thing puts on the brakes, delivers a shot to the midsection. A right chop. But Bradshaw counters with a hip toss. Oh, this is going to be a great tag team matchup so far. Here we go. Wild Thing whipped to the ropes by Bradshaw. Collision in the middle of the ring with nothing happening. The Freak watching as Wild Thing Wayne Take catches a knee from Bradshaw. Running shoulder tackle. Takes Wild Thing down. Bradshaw rounds him up. Ooh, wrist clutch boot to the face. As Bradshaw steps out and in comes Farouk again. Well, they've got no problems with their tag team mechanics, neither one of these teams. Oh, man, running kick right to the face of Farouk by the Wild Thing. Oh, beautiful suplex from Wild Thing Wayne Take, and here comes the Freak again. Farouk back up on his feet. Standing center ring, charges, misses with the flying shoulder. The Freak with a wrist clutch boot to the face of Farouk. And here comes the Wild Thing again. Oh, man. Farouk don't know if he's coming or going, but he's got Wild Thing up over the shoulders, but Wild Thing counters into an inverted DDT, slamming the head of Farouk against the mat. Wild Thing, ooh, what a right hand, dropped Farouk like a stone. Oh, well, a little chokey here. Weren't expecting that, but, well, the Psychodelics, they didn't call them that for nothing. Here's a pin, one, but not even a one. Farouk kicking out of that one pretty easy. Wild Thing Wayne Take catches a cheap shot from the Freak, and a series of shots from the Wild Thing. He's got him up into a backbreaker. Farouk catches a rolling elbow from the Wild Thing. Farouk out on the apron, on the wrong side of town, making his way to a standing position here. The Freak tags him with a shot that accidentally tags the Wild Thing too, but did the trick. Wild Thing with a shoulder to Bradshaw puts him out on the floor. Farouk laid out center ring as the Wild Thing takes himself all the way up to the top far right turnbuckle, waiting for Bradshaw to get himself stood up. And here we go. Double axe handle does not find the mark. A shot to the midsection and a running drop kick from Farouk puts the Wild Thing down. Wild Thing counters with a couple of boots to the chest. And here comes the Freak again. Clothesline doesn't find the mark. The Freak locked up by Farouk. Whipped to the corner. Here comes Farouk. Oof. Clothesline puts the Freak down on the canvas near center. Farouk flips him over, delivers a stomp to the leg. The Freak rolls to the outside, goes after Bradshaw. Look at this. Belly to back suplex for Bradshaw. But a trap squeeze from Farouk on the Freak, blocking the flow of blood to the brain. And well, that took effect right away. Farouk with a massive headbutt to the Freak. Referee counting. Oh, he missed that. Oh, I know that hurt. Head first into the floor. The Freak with a jab. Locks up Farouk, delivers a kick to the midsection. Oh, man, nasty way to drive a knee into a man's gut. Now, that's just cruel. Bradshaw still laid out from that suplex, just getting to a standing position here. As the Freak opens up with a series of shots that push Farouk down. The Freak rolls back inside the ring and goes after Bradshaw again, but no dice. He got countered. Bradshaw steps to the outside, but oh man, did you see that? Whoa, he just went over the top rope and took Bradshaw down. Farouk goes behind on the Freak. Again, another quick counter from the Freak. A knee at the midsection from Farouk. The Freak rolls back inside the ring by Farouk. Sylvia Strong giving Farouk the side eye here. As the Freak rolls back inside the ring, gets caught from behind by Farouk, and a sidewalk slam right in the heart of the elbow. A kick to the side of the head of Farouk from the Freak, followed up with a stomp to the midsection. A series of wrist clutch kicks to the ribs and a forearm. Oh, man, he spun Farouk around with that shot. Elbow to the leg, over and over and over again. 5 times. Booker T 5 times. Huh. The Freak rounds up Farouk, kick to the gut, all right. Gets him up over the shoulders in the fireman's carry. And, oh man, look at this pin right here. One. Ooh. Bradshaw keeping it to 2. Wild Thing whips into the corner. Rounds up Bradshaw. Wild Thing wing take. John Bradshaw to the outside. Farouk counters with a knee from the apron on the Freak. A jab from the Freak, a chop, all right, a spinning back fist for Farouk. Up over the shoulder, Farouk quickly counters with a chop block to the back of the knee of the Freak. Running dropkick doesn't find the mark. The Freak rolling out of the way just in time. The Freak setting up a spinning toe hold here. Drops an elbow on the leg of Farouk. The Freak takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Far right turnbuckle. Here he comes. Ooh! Man, coffin drop. Right across the gut of Farouk. Looks like he's going to go for another shot here. Up on the middle rope, waiting for Farouk to stand up. And here he comes. There it is, the clothesline from the middle rope. The Freak's big finisher right there. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. I'm sure that would have ended the match if Bradshaw hadn't interfered. The Freak rounds up Farouk, a chop across the chest, a right, another chop, goes behind on him, German suplex, sends Farouk rolling. Bradshaw on the outside of the Wild Thing with a snap suplex. The Freak with a stomp to the back of the Farouk. And back into that spinning toe hold again as Bradshaw makes his way back to his tag corner. Here's a drop of the elbow against the leg of Farouk. Wow, the Freak drives a knee into the arm of Farouk. The Freak all the way up on that top right turnbuckle yet again. And here he comes. Whoa! Nice distance on that flying shoulder. A stomp to the head of Farouk. Oh man, the Freak rebounds off the ropes, delivers a kick to the side of the head of Farouk, turns his attention to Bradshaw, tags him with a right, tags him with another, but Bradshaw quickly counters with a forearm. Farouk goes after the Wild Thing, takes him down with a clothesline on the outside. The Freak goes outside after Bradshaw. Farouk making a beeline for the Freak, delivers a series of shots, but is quickly countered with a set of kicks to the leg by the Freak. A quick jab is countered by Farouk, a kick to the midsection from the Freak, another jab. A left and a right. The Freak lines up the arm, Russian leg sweep. Out there on the floor, slamming the head of Farouk against the floor. The Freak back inside the ring, goes after Bradshaw one more time, and it is beat to the bow ground time for Bradshaw. A series of 10-count punches right across the chest. I'm telling you, the drop was almost as bad as the beating. Here comes the Wild Thing again. Both members of the APA laid out on their side of the ring. Wild Thing slips out, catches a clothesline from Farouk all of a sudden. Bradshaw has sure taken a lot of punishment here. A swing and a miss from the Wild Thing. Farouk gets him up over the... Oh, man, nasty dominator right there on the outside. Farouk driven towards the barricades by Wild Thing Wayne Tague. He decides to go right back after him again. A stomp to the arm of Farouk. Wild Thing looks like he's trying to go after Bradshaw too. Ambitious. Well now, hard right hand from Wild Thing Wayne Tague. There's another one. He steps out onto the apron with Bradshaw. He's going to let gravity do the work right against the lip of the apron. Farouk misses his charge, catches a right, catches a kick. Oh man, he just wobbled on that one. Damn. Okay. Rolling elbow from Wild Thing across the chest. Bradshaw has spent a lot of time in that position. Has him up on a front cradle. Drops him headfirst into the ring stuff, not even into the lip of the apron. Another rolling elbow to the chest of Farouk from Wild Thing Wayne Tague, followed up with a stomp, and Bradshaw is still out to lunch as Wild Thing grinds the face of Farouk into the floor, follows it up with another elbow smash to the back of Farouk. Wild Thing Wayne Teague firmly in control here. German suplex to Farouk as Bradshaw finally starts to stir here. Wild Thing with a right hook kick, another right, and a jump kick that doesn't find the mark. Farouk stepping out of the way of that one, and look at this. Wild Thing driven up the ramp as the referee continues to count. Farouk with a hip toss to the Wild Thing on the steel portion of the ramp. Farouk rolled back into the ring, and a running DDT as a parting shot to Bradshaw from the Wild Thing, and again, Bradshaw's not going to be much help. Elbow drop, fails to find the mark. Farouk fails to find the mark with the running kick, but Rule the Spinebuster damn sure did find the mark. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Wild Thing getting the left shoulder up. Farouk, frustrated, starts beating the head of Wild Thing Wayne Teague against the canvas, and I think Farouk is pretty mad right about now. Farouk charges clothesline. Takes down the Wild Thing. Wild Thing stuck in the wrong side of town on the APA corner. Alley-oop out of the corner by his ankles by Farouk. Farouk with a stomp to the arm of the Wild Thing. A stomp to the midsection of the Wild Thing, and Farouk, yeah, definitely talking trash to Wild Thing Wayne Teague. The APA is provoked. There's a kick to the midsection from Farouk. He's got him all the way up over the shoulders. Dominator, that is going to do it right there. There's a pin, a cover, and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. No, the Freak right there to break it up before the count of 2. Farouk definitely frustrated now. Oh yeah, Wild Thing Wayne Teague could be in trouble right here. Farouk with a stomp to the arm of the Wild Thing. Oh well. Farouk catches a kick to the head from Wild Thing Wayne Teague as Teague steps over to his corner and tags in the Freak. Sylvia Strong just taking in the whole show here. Clothesline from Bradshaw misses the mark. The Freak gets a hold of him by the back of the head and loving blow to the chest. The Freak locks it up with Bradshaw, whips him to the corner. Here's the charge, and whoa, what a shot to the head. The Freak rebounds off the ropes and follows that up with a spear. One now. Cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. But nope, just the 2. Another near fall in this crazy tag team matchup. The Freak locks it up with Bradshaw. Whip to the far right corner. A hard right from the Freak. And one more time up to the middle rope. And there's the diving clothesline one more time. This could wrap it up right here. 1, 2. Shut up. Bradshaw finding his way out of that one. The Freak charges, they collide. Bradshaw misses with the clothesline, catches a couple of elbows from the Freak. And the third one puts him down on the canvas. In comes Wild Thing Wayne Teague again. Oh man. What a match we've had so far. Bradshaw slowly making his way to a standing position as Wild Thing Wayne Teague right there waiting for him, winds him up. Gets a hold of him. Oh man, what a nasty suplex from Wild Thing Wayne Teague. Face down again. Bradshaw, here's another cover. 1, 2. And that's gonna do it. The Psychedelics picking up a win over the APA by pinfall. That was a nutty one.
The time, 14 minutes and 6 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, the Psychedelics.
That's a sign of things to come, you guys. While we still aren't sure who the Psychedelics will be defending the Snarl tag belts against, but whoever's lucky enough to get the chance. They're gonna face stiff resistance from the Freak and Wild Thing.
Awesome clash between two great teams in a long battle, but Wild Thing Wayne Teague picks up the 3 count on Bradshaw for the win.
And we will be right back with more Snarl right after this. Alright gang, coming up next is a battle of big bad behemoth dudes that we've seen recently. On the one side you got Big John Studd accompanied by the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart, and on the other the Samoan bulldozer Umaga.
The following contest is set for 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart from Los Angeles, California, weighing 368 pounds, Big John Stud.
Mr. Stud, seemingly quite happy with his new management, and hot off a win in his return match 2 weeks back against Carlito. But this match isn't gonna be anywhere near as easy. The Samoan Bulldozer's definitely gonna be a far tougher customer than Carlito. Not that Big John Stud isn't equipped to handle it.
True that. When you feuded with the likes of an Andre the Giant, for example, as Stud has done, Umaga probably won't be as daunting for the big man. His opponent accompanied by Captain Lou Albano from the Isle of Samoa, weighing 350 pounds, the Samoan Bulldozer. Umaga's also coming off a win in his last match at Rage over Boston Connor. Interesting little situation with these two opponents, both facing tougher opponents in their previous matches, now set to lock up against each other, and I hate to be that guy, but Lou Albano at ringside is a huge red flag. He didn't show up for Umaga's match with Boston Connor now, did he?
Valid point, GB. The captain at ringside is always a cause for at least a little suspicion.
A little suspicion? Oh, Wally. You have been working here for years, haven't you?
I stands corrected text, point being, I'd be very surprised if Albano behaves himself in this matchup with his client, up against a larger opponent with a mild weight advantage.
One thing's for sure, Umaga's gonna have a tough time trying to push around Big John Stud like he was somebody else. Oh man. Willie Johnson sounds the bell. Here we go. Hard right from Stud. Umaga rounded up into a front cradle. Stud's got him up, hangs him up off the top rope. Down goes the Samoan Bulldozer. Whoa, big splash from Big John Stud. Umaga counters with a kick, gets back up on his feet, delivers a stomp to the midsection. Big John Stud got in a submission here. Referee Willie Johnson checking it out, but Stud, look at this, powering out, slips out the back door, takes Umaga down. The Samoan Bulldozer, gathered up by Big John Stud, escorted into the far right corner, head first into the turnbuckle, but Umaga with a quick counter charges and takes the big guy down. Well now, Umaga going to work on Big John Stud center ring. There's a shoulder claw. Locked in on Big John Stud. Jimmy Hart watching as Big John Stud gets himself up to one knee here. And delivers a hard shot to the midsection and a hard right. And another. Locks Umaga up. Got him up over the shoulder again and drops him head first into the turnbuckle right in front of Lou Albano. There's the stomp to the arm. Big John Stud, look at this. Deadlifting 350 pounds of Umaga up over his shoulders way in the middle of the air and just lets him drop. Oh man. Alright, well the momentum has shifted back and forth already a time or two. Umaga whipped to the far right turnbuckle. Big John Stud right there. Elbows to the side of the head of the Samoan Bulldozer and down he goes. Another stomp to the midsection. A rear chin lock put in by Big John Stud as Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, cheers his man on, but Umaga grabs a hold of the ankle and sweeps it. Stud gets a hold of Umaga again. Pitches him up against the ropes, a chop across the chest, the leg draped over the rope, and now he's going to try and take that leg home. Umaga staggering a little bit here. A shot to the midsection, a second, a third right, a kick to the gut, a chop across the chest from Umaga to Big John Stud. Stud deposited to the turnbuckle, counters with an elbow, gets himself up out of the corner, and hurls Umaga by his locks. Umaga counters with a kick, gets back up on his feet, delivers a series of shots to Big John Stud, locks him up, whips him right back into the same corner. And look at this, Umaga driving all of his weight into the midsection of Stud and drags him out towards center. A stomp to the midsection, a stomp to the head. The Samoan Bulldozer turning the tide again. And this one's gone back and forth a couple of times already. A rake to the back of Big John Stud. Umaga gets a hold of him, belly to belly suplex, and that was not easy to do. One. Barely just a one. Umaga has to think of a new strategy, takes himself up to the top turnbuckle. Big John Stud's laid out and diving headbutt right to the midsection. Here's another pin attempt from Umaga. 1. And again, barely just a 1. The Mouth of the South looking supremely confident here. Like I said, this is not some cruiserweight. A headbutt to Big John Studd from Umaga. And the Samoan Bulldozer beating the head of Big John Studd against the canvas, follows it up with a stomp. Rounds up Big John Studd and locks in the shoulder throw one more time. The referee checking things out. Studd quickly up, sweeps the leg, takes Umaga down to the canvas. Follows that up with a stomp to the arm. And again, the tides have turned in this one. This is no little cruiserweight you're playing with here, Mr. Umaga. Big John Studd with another stomp to the arm of the Samoan Bulldozer. And he liked the deadlift so much, he's going to do it again. From a deadlift military press, the Samoan Bulldozer meets the canvas face first. Yanked by the ankle and dragged halfway across town. Big John Studd takes himself to the far left turnbuckle, and here he goes. Elbow drop right across the chest of Umaga. Here's a pin. 1, 2. But again, no. Umaga powering out of the pin. Umaga counters with a kick to the head of Big John Studd. Has him up. Big time Samoan drop from the Samoan Bulldozer. Umaga gathers Studd up. Here it goes. The Samoan spike, the thumb right into the throat. This could be bad news right here. Here's a pin. 1, 2. But again, no. Big John Studd getting the right shoulder up before the count of 3. Umaga slowly making his way back to a standing position. Misses with the stomp. Big John Studd catches a series of shots, a kick, and a DDT from Umaga. Again, Umaga going back to work on John Studd, but he counters, gets back up on it. Whoa! What a sweeping right. Took Umaga down hard. There's a stomp to the midsection. Winds up the elbow and drops it right on the head of the Samoan Bulldozer. Man, what a match we got going here. Big John Studd trying to squeeze a submission out of Umaga with a bear hug. Willie Johnson keeping an eye on the Samoan Bulldozer. He's flailing. Studd squeezing for all these. Oh, look at this. He releases the hold. I think he might have just put Umaga out. Here's another pin attempt. 1, 2. Oh, shut up. I don't know how he got that left shoulder up, and Big John Studd's questioning Willie Johnson on that count. Studd gathers him up, gut wrench, suplex. Followed up with a big splash. What is it going to take to keep the Samoan Bulldozer down? Umaga with a running shoulder tackle. Takes Studd down. Gathers him back up to a standing position. Umaga with another belly-to-belly suplex on Big John Studd. The Samoan Bulldozer making his way to the top turnbuckle here. Studd trying to get stood up, but it was too late. Double axe handle across the back from Umaga and a series of hard rights to the back of the head. The Samoan Bulldozer delivers a kick to Big John Studd and continues to work on him in a down position. The Samoan Bulldozer sizing him up. Takes himself to the apron, takes himself to the top far left turnbuckle, and he is waiting for Big John Studd to stand up. Here comes Umaga, double axe handle right across the head of Big John Studd, followed up with a stomp. And one more time, Umaga going in for that shoulder claw. But again, Studd must be wise to that move. Gets himself back, stood up, delivers a shot to the midsection. A throat chop. Gets a hold of Umaga. He's got him up. Takes a couple of steps with him. There's a backbreaker. And he starts cracking them vertebrae on Umaga. I'm amazed Big John Studd survived the Samoan spike once. A series of shots from Big John Studd. Double choke lift. And slammed down to the canvas goes Umaga. Yanked again across town by his ankle. And Big John Studd really starting to press the attack here. Winds up the elbow, drops it right across the chest of the Samoan Bulldozer. Big John Studd going for a third deadlift military press drop on Umaga. And Umaga must be tired of being up there. Oh, and right back, he must be even more tired of being down there. Rebound off the ropes. Big time splash to Umaga. Studd goes for it a second time, but does not connect. Umaga rolling out of the way. He must have heard it coming. The Samoan Bulldozer gets a hold of him. Ooh, man, reverse Russian leg sweep, slamming Studd's face into the canvas. The Samoan Bulldozer with a double axe handle to the back of Big John Studd, followed up with a stomp. Umaga rounds him up, gets a hold of Studd, whips him over the top rope out onto the floor, practically at the feet of Captain Lou Albano, who's beating it out of town here. Both men on the outside now as the referee is about to start to count. Umaga with a headbutt right to the lower abdomen. And oh man, that's got to hurt. Umaga goes for it a second time. It's going to hurt even more the second time around. Studd, deciding not to go for a third, shoves Umaga away. Double axe handle right across the back of the head of the Samoan Bulldozer, followed up with a stomp to the arm. Big John Studd with another deadlift military press to Umaga on the outside as Willie Johnson continues to count, and down, face first into the floor goes the Samoan Bulldozer. Oh, now. This one's been a ride and a half so far. Big John Studd got Umaga up for that long, stalling vertical suplex that takes forever to get this stolen. Boom! There it is. Oh, man, Umaga crushed to the floor by Big John Studd. Oh, look at this. Umaga puts on the brakes, delivers a headbutt. A shot to the midsection of Big John Studd. Rolls him back inside the ring. The Samoan Bulldozer, perhaps a bit annoyed at the situation now. He is stalking Big John Studd here. This could be bad stuff right here. Here we go. Another Samoan spike right to the throat of Big John Studd, right center ring. Umaga goes for the cover and hooks the leg. 1, 2. Shut up! Umaga. Oh, he's upset. And I would be too. 2 Samoan spikes and Big John Studd still won't go down. Hard right. Spins Studd around, a rake to the back from Umaga. Umaga locks him up again. Tries for the reverse Russian leg sweep, but winds up catching an arm drag. Nice counter from Studd. Studd with a knee to the midsection of Umaga. He's got Umaga up over the shoulder, takes a little walk with him, and hangs him up off the top rope. Umaga falls center ring. Studd rebounds off the ropes. Another big-time splash right across the chest of Umaga. A stomp to the midsection. Jimmy, the mouth of the South Heart, having a great time watching this one, as it looks like Big John Studd is about to put Umaga away here. 1, 2. Umaga powering out somehow, some way. I don't know how he did it, but Big John Studd going to round him up and start over. Another attempt for the bear hug, and he passed him out the last time. Who knows what's going to happen here, but Umaga being squeezed out of a submission here. Referee Willie Johnson watching things, and Umaga in big-time trouble right here. Again. He just squeezed him out. Oh! Umaga slams him face first to the canvas. Gathers Studd back up. Hard whip to the far right corner. Umaga with a kick to the lower abdomen. Another. He backs it up. This ain't gonna be good. He charges. Oh, man. A whole bunch of weight crushed into the face of Big John Studd. And, oh, man, look at it. He's sinking slow. Man, that's not good. Here's another pin attempt from Umaga. 1, 2. You gotta be kidding me, man. Whoa. Big John Studd not making this one easy for the Samoan Bulldozer, is he? Umaga takes himself to the top, far left turnbuckle. Studd catches an elbow to the top of the skull, followed up with a stomp. Umaga drives a knee into the throat of Big John Studd. Oh, the headbutt doesn't find the mark. Big John Studd stepping out of the way just in time. Fails to connect with the running neckbreaker. Umaga puts the brakes on him. Gathers Studd back up. And another Samoan spike to the throat. I think the third time might be the charm here. 1, 2. Yeah, that's going to do it. Umaga somehow puts a stop on Big John Studd. Let's get the official time from Buck Morton.
The time, 13 minutes and 15 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Umaga.
A mammoth clash between these two, with momentum shifting wildly back and forth all through it. But it's the Samoan Bulldozer picking up the 3-count pin after nailing Studd with the Samoan spike. Not once, not twice, but 3 in a row.
And Studd took 2 and kept going okay. But that last one put the big man down for keeps.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event when we return.
In this evening's main event, the Glamazon Beth Phoenix challenging for the Women's International Championship against the 6'5", 265-pound Madam Snoo, Dione the Titaness. Tonight's Snarl main event is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit and is for the WL Women's International Champion.
Glamazon primed and ready for this huge opportunity to snag the Women's International title. But standing in her way is the Italian Testarossa, who's been unstoppable since taking the title from Angie Angel Guns.
Beth Phoenix, an undeniable powerhouse, has the tools she needs to challenge Dione and possibly become new Women's International Champion. And even Dione is aware of the Glamazon's capability.
But aware does not equate to being concerned. After all, Dione is known for getting involved in handicap matches just for the fun of it against 2 and 3 people. And well, as powerful as the Glamazon is, she's only just one woman. Could very well be Dust Bus Snoot time for Beth Phoenix. And here she comes now, the Women's International Champion Dione the Titaness. All 6'5" and 265 pounds of her, toting the Women's International Championship over her shoulder, making her way down to the ring to mix it up with the Glamazon. Oh man, what a main event we got lined up here, and it has been a great night. It has been a fantastic birthday. Fans, thank you for being with us tonight on this most special evening, this most special edition of Rwl Sn Rl.
Been a grand old night. What with the return of American powers, that face-to-face between Liberty Belle Danielle and Toni Storm, and how about this main event?
A quick glance at the records shows Phoenix and Dione met once before, 4 years ago during Dione's previous run as Women's International Champion. And obviously, it didn't go the Glamazon's way, so I'm thinking the Italian Testarossa will likely be going home with the belt again tonight. But we'll just have to wait and see where it goes, because 4 years is an eternity around here.
Introducing first the challenger, from Buffalo, New York, the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix. And her opponent from Milan, Italy, the reigning RWO Women's International Champion, Dione the Titaness.
Big Red looking a little bit wary. She must be remembering that encounter 4 years ago. Knows that Beth Phoenix is not going to be a pushover as Walt Rothburn displays the Women's International Championship. What a main event this is going to be, guys. Wow. Beth Phoenix is all ready to go. So is Big D in the Big D. All right. Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Dione gets a hold of Beth Phoenix and swat. Oh, man. Dropped her right on the back of her head. A little bit of showboating from Dione. Big mistake. There's a shoulder tackle from Beth Phoenix. Laying in a set of hard rights to the head of the Italian Testarossa, followed up with a stomp to the midsection. Beth Phoenix beating the head of Dione against the canvas. Beth Phoenix lines it up, rolling elbow across the chest of Dione. Rolls on to the outside. And here comes Beth Phoenix right after her. A couple of hard rights, lefts, a shot, a kick to the midsection, a clubbing overhand right, and Dione still not taking all the way down, just down to one knee. As the referee counts, Dione back up on a standing position, and oh, look at this, sneering at the fans. As she makes her way back inside to go after Beth Phoenix. Oh, quick takedown from the Glamazon. Here's a quick cover on the hook of the leg. 1, 2, almost a near fall. 1, says Walt Rothburn. Beth Phoenix goes to, oh, look at this. Twisting the head and neck of Dione, and with her leg over the shoulder, slams Dione's head down to the canvas. Set of hard lefts to the head of Dione, followed up with another stomp from Beth Phoenix. The Glamazon really starting to lay into Dione here. There's another stomp from the Glamazon again, beating the head of Dione against the mat. The Titaness starting to look like she might be having some problems here. As Beth Phoenix starts to lay in, starts to assert herself, and, well, the momentum is starting to go her way. Huh. Whoa! Dione counters with a couple of quick lefts right to the face of Beth Phoenix. Yanks her by her ankle, drags her halfway across town, follows that up with a stomp to the back. Down the Titaness. Gets a hold on Beth Phoenix. We've seen this once before tonight earlier. Wow. Deadlift into a military press drop. Down goes Beth Phoenix face first into the mat. We've seen that happen to Umaga before. Dione off the ropes. Big crushing splash to the Glamazon. That'll knock the wind right out of you. The Titaness gets a hold on Beth Phoenix. As her up, takes a couple of steps, and oh man, a prolonged and agonizing backbreaker for the Glamazon. Oh, look at this. Dione liked it somewhat. Whoa! What a slam to Beth Phoenix. Followed up with another stomp from Dione. Oh, look at this. Dione keeping her down in one position and doing a little bit of showboating for the fans here in Dallas. There's a stomp to the back of Beth Phoenix. Both ladies roll to the outside as Walt Rothburn gets ready to start the count. Dione delivers a stomp to the face of Beth Phoenix. Grabs a knee into the side of the head. Walt Rothburn just watching as he starts the count. Heel hook stretch locked in by Dione on Beth Phoenix on the outside. Dione gathers up the Glamazon. Wow, what a height difference between these two. Beth Phoenix pitched towards the timekeeper's area as Dione makes her way back inside, and referee Walt Rothburn continuing the count on Beth Phoenix, who is slowly starting to stir and get back to a standing position here. Dione standing center ring, waiting right there for her. Beth Phoenix rolls back inside the ring. Dione gets a hold of her, has her up over the shoulder in the fireman's carry, and hangs her up the top rope. Down goes the Glamazon. Big time elbow across the chest, man. Her legs went out stiff. Beth Phoenix laid out near center as Dione makes her way to the top turnbuckle here. And here she comes. Ooh, misses with the elbow drop. Beth Phoenix getting out of the way just in time. Set a hard right, spins Dione around. She gets above the hair and a clubbing blow to the chest from Beth Phoenix. Now a set of hard lefts to the Dione the Titaness, followed up with a stomp to the midsection of Glamazon. Doing a little showboating of her own. Oh, this ain't gonna be good. Beth Phoenix. Oh, man. Possible submission, but releases the hold, follows it up with a kick to the midsection. Again, the Women's International Championship on the line in this matchup. Our main event tonight. Dione catches a clubbing blow to the back from Beth Phoenix. Hard whipped over the top rope, out onto the apron. Hung up on the top rope and out onto the floor goes Dione. The Glamazon finds her way outside. Gets a hold of Dione. Dione counters with a set of elbows to the midsection of Beth Phoenix. Picks herself back inside. Here comes Beth right after her. Dione locked up by the Glamazon. Hard whip to the ropes. Beth Phoenix winds up the arm on her. Top wrist lock, but a set of shots to the midsection from Dione the Titaness backs her off. Ooh, nasty clothesline takes her down. Swing and a miss from Beth Phoenix off the ropes, back body drop. Dione urging her to come on. Gets her up and into a spine buster. And now, here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Near fall, but not near enough. Beth Phoenix getting that left shoulder up. Dione with another deadlift military press drop to the Glamazon. This has been a favorite move of our stars tonight. Boom! Down goes the Glamazon face first into the mat. A stomp to the midsection from Dione the Titaness. And again, keeping her pinned with just her foot. That's easy to do when you're 6'5" and 265 pounds. Dione the Titaness rounding up Beth Phoenix. Winds it up, discus punch, face. Oh, man, right to the face. Followed up with a stomp to the midsection. Dione's got her up and just slams her towards the far left corner. Beth Phoenix in that corner catches a stomp to the chest from Dione, catches another one. Catches the third. The Glamazon rolls out of the corner towards center. And Dione right back in with the heel hook stretch again as the momentum starts to shift her way. Madam Snoo Snoo. Yanking the Glamazon halfway across the ring by her ankle. Gathers her back up. Tries for the bear hug, but not going to happen. Beth Phoenix flies to that trick. Counters and escapes. Spins her around with a hard right. Has her up for the glam slam. This could be bad. Here's a cover. 1, 2. And Dione somehow powering out of the glam slam. That's pretty impressive. There's a stomp to the midsection. Beth Phoenix driving all of her weight into the lower back of Dione. Takes a moment to rally the fans in support. Don't know how much support she's going to have, but there's a stomp to the back of Dione the Titaness, who rolls to the outside. Beth Phoenix takes herself to the top rope. Here she comes. Double axe handle right across the head of Dione. Followed up with a set of hard right hands to the head. Followed up with a stomp to the midsection. Well, Beth Phoenix certainly not making it easy for the Italian Testarossa tonight. As Walt Rothburn continues to count with both ladies on the outside. An armbar stretch from the Glamazon. Dione rounded up to a standing position by Beth Phoenix. Headlock punch. Followed up with an overhand right. Followed up with another one. Beth Phoenix just battering Dione into the floor. Followed up with another stomp. The referee trying to get him back inside the ring. Look at this. Beth Phoenix doesn't want to hear it. He's got the edge over Dione, and she's going to exploit it for every last bit she can get. The Glamazon rounds up Dione. Gets her back inside the ring before the count. Now. Beth Phoenix takes herself to the top turnbuckle again. Dione laid out center ring. Here she comes. An elbow right across the back. And the Italian Testarossa followed up with another stomp from the Glamazon. Beth Phoenix, one more time taking control of this match away from Dione. Gets a hold of her hard forearm. Takes Dione down to the mat. Dione quickly back up. Beth Phoenix misses with that kick. And look at this. Palm handle suplex from Dione. The Titaness dragging Beth Phoenix towards center ring. Think she might have her. Here's another pin. 1, 2. And again, another near fall, but Beth Phoenix yanking that left shoulder up. Okay. Dione rounds her up over the shoulder in the fireman's carry, carries her over to the ropes, hangs her up off the top rope, and down goes the Glamazon again. Beth Phoenix on the outside apron, using the ropes to get herself stood up. Dione's going to come out after her. They both make it back inside. Beth Phoenix with a forearm. Takes Dione down. Dione quickly back up, catches a running kick, and again, Beth Phoenix turning things around here on Dione. A set of hard right hands. Followed up with another stomp. And yet another. Beth Phoenix again driving all of her weight into Dione's lower back. And liked it so much she's going to do it again. Man. Well, Beth Phoenix certainly relentless. In this bid to get the women's international title from Dione, she has not had an easy time of it. This has not been a squash, by no means. Beth Phoenix driving elbows into the midsection of Dione. Another clubbing overhand right takes her down to the count. Oh man, this is looking bad for Dione here as Beth Phoenix really starts to press the attack. There's a stomp to the arm. Beth Phoenix with an arm bar stretch on Dione the Titaness. Dione, whoa! Hard shot to the midsection of Beth Phoenix. A kick to the midsection of Beth Phoenix. And here it comes. The spinning powerbomb. She's got her up. She slammed her down. Sit out powerbomb. Here's a pin. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, Dione turns it around, defeats Beth Phoenix, and retains the women's international title.
The time, 11 minutes and 46 seconds. Your winner by pinfall and still women's international champion, Dione the Titaness.
Well, you said it at the beginning, Wally. Dione the Titaness has been pretty much unstoppable since snagging the women's international title from Angie Angel Guns, and she does it again tonight against the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. What a night it has been on Snarl. I've had the best birthday just about ever.
Okay, Tex, happy birthday once more, and that's this week's Snarl. Fans, thanks for joining us and for supporting RWL Wrestling. You folks are just the best. RWL returns to the channel Monday night, the 24th of November. December with our WL Rage, along with Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvy, and Myron Schimmelman. And we hope you'll join us then. For Johnny, Tex, and myself, this is Wally Cardill saying thanks, good night, and be safe. We'll be back on Saturday, December 6th. See you then.